Fellow entrepreneurs, welcome to Sink or Swim. My name is Badran.
Hi guys, I'm Constantinescu.
And today we want to talk about the 5 mistakes you totally want to avoid as an entrepreneur.
Enjoy.
So some of the things you never want to ignore when you're first starting your business are the financial decisions. I think with proper money management, you can go very far in life and your opportunities are endless. However, poor money management could sometimes unfortunately ruin some of the most talented and some of the brightest entrepreneurs in the world. So today we want to talk about how to avoid all of these things. Let's start with point number 1.
Having an empty bank account. Starting a business is already hard as it is. Starting a business with no money in the bank, I think it's borderline suicide. You could do it. There's always people that are there to prove you wrong. But I mean, put all the chances on your side. Make sure that you have some financial stability, not being a millionaire before starting a business, but having a normal financial stability, being comfortable already with some money in the bank, some savings in the bank, that's gonna allow you to remove that stress from the table, because entrepreneurship is already stressful as it is.
Picture it this way. When you're running as a business with low funds, it's like constantly driving a car that's low on gas. It's very painful and it's always a stressful situation. And specifically entrepreneurs, we like to usually reinvest all our cash into the business and make it grow and reinvest in marketing and all that stuff. But lacking a bit of, emergency funding can be extremely stressful in hard times, like we may have lived a few times this year already. So you want to make sure that you have proper funding in case, you have an employee or an assistant that you need to pay for their salary to keep doing the work that you want them to do.
Think about it for a second. I know it's hard because you always want to reinvest the money in the business. It's actually a very smart thing to do. But think about times that we're just going through or we went through recently. Businesses that were lacking liquidity are going through a very difficult time compared to businesses that have some cash flow in the bank account.
Exactly. And if you're the smartest idea you can have, and like we mentioned many times, yes, you want to reinvest your money into the business, but reinvest it in a smart way and make sure that you have a portion of your revenues that's always there for a rainy day that you will use whenever you have to and you have no choice but to use. Some people create, holding companies where they invest in real estate, or they have their own, stocks or bonds, preferably bonds, because they don't want to, put their money too much at risk. But at least you have the peace of mind, and if things go south one day, you know that your money is there, and if you need it, you could pull it out, and you're not really walking on eggshells every day. And that's really one of the things that you want to consider, especially when you're operating your business from a year-to-year basis. So point number 2, guys, you don't want to be spending without ROI, which is return on investment. What I mean by this is, and take this from me, the first year as an entrepreneur, when you first cash in that first commission check, you made your big sale, you think you deserve that brand new car that you've always been dreaming about, or that nice suit, or that nice watch that you've always wanted. But think about it in a long term. It's nice to be presentable, it's nice to have nice things, but don't do it at the expense of your business. Your business needs to grow. That money needs to be used for you to grow, and eventually, you'll be able to afford all these things. But take a bit of patience and think about money in a more strategic way rather than, oh, well, you know what? I want to show everyone that I made it, I'm the entrepreneur of the year. Make sure that you hold your horses the first year at least. Make sure that you have enough money to be able to sleep at night and eat, instead of going on to buy the brand new things and all that stuff.
And I know it's not easy nowadays. Everybody wants to show that they've been successful so fast, and they forget that the basic of entrepreneurship is having a business work. Showing that the business works when in fact everything is rotten inside is as worse as not having a business. So put the money into the business, like you said. Buy or do stuff that is gonna help you and the business make more income than trying to show off your new car to people that at the end of the day shouldn't be people you want to impress. I think it's important, like you say, to look the par. I'm not saying don't be presentable, but you don't need that brand new car that's gonna suck out of the business $1,000, $1,500 a month just to make you feel like you have something so nice to show everybody.
Pretty much. And there are a few items, like a few suits that could make you look very presentable without you really having to go there and break the bank and spend all your revenue on one thing. make sure that you become a bit, frugal when it comes to making these decisions, and you become, like I said, make decisions based on strategy and not just emotional. I want to look good. I want to have that. I want to look like I deserve all these things. Be very intelligent. Make sure that you're in this for the long run, and you're not thinking short term and how you're going to look today. Think about in a few years, you'll look that part and you'll have enough money to do all of that.
And you're gonna deserve it in a few years. Do you really deserve it on your first commission check, on your first year, where the energy should be more towards something more long-term than you having a custom-made suit from the get-go?
Exactly. And we're talking about suit, but it could be anything. Anything you may desire, like going to get that property, that condo downtown, somewhere nice that you might not be able to afford, but based on some sales or some skills that you may have acquired that you feel like it'll pay itself eventually. Yeah. Be very careful what kind of decisions you make. I think that in the first year, look at money in a way that you might not make more than this. Mm-hmm. If every sale you make, you say that you're not going to make any more than this. So be very intelligent on how you spend your money.
Point number 3, don't be cheap. There's a smart way to spend money. I'm not saying here spend left and right. We discussed this in point number 2. It means that when it comes to growing a business, there needs to be some investment, the smart investment inside the business. You cannot do everything. There are some stuff you're gonna have to spend money on, and be able to delegate and outsource some of the stuff will help you save money and grow faster than anything else.
So like hiring an assistant could be one of the most basic kind of expenses. So much time and so much effort is put into administrative work that cause a lot of, that piles up a bunch of stuff and chores to do on yourself. If you can delegate some of that onto an assistant, even though it might cost you a direct expense, but at least you have time to go grow the business. Yeah. How many entrepreneurs do you know that tell you, I don't have time to grow my business because I'm too busy, returning some calls or
doing paperwork.
Exactly, doing some paperwork, submitting it to the headquarters, whatever it may be. Delegate some of that work to someone. Many different gurus and entrepreneurs that go on YouTube, they tell you don't do minimum wage jobs. You leave that to someone that you delegate to do it for you, and you're paying them to do that for you.
Don't be cheap also means being able to delegate to somebody else tasks that are not really bringing value. You have to be able to value your time. If you're spending hours and hours and hours doing paperwork, and that paperwork is not bringing you direct new clients, why don't you delegate the paperwork to somebody else and value that time that you're going to be able to be out there and find new clients?
Exactly. So the second thing is that when you're an entrepreneur, and especially in the first few years of your venture, you need to invest a lot of money on your continuing education. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is don't ever shy away from, attending a seminar with a famous business person that could give you key insights on how to properly run your business, or take a few courses on, the art of negotiation, the art of presenting, the art of salesmanship, just in general. These courses cost a lot of money. Don't be cheap and say, I'll find the how-to on Google. Make sure that, you spend the money and you go to people that can teach you something on how to grow your business. Don't be too cheap on how that money is going to be spent. It has a good ROI. I mentioned ROI earlier, and one of the ROIs is continuing education. So point number 4, guys, and it's one of the most important ones, especially if you're a citizen of the world, is don't forget the taxman. See, any business or any new starting venture, we tend to forget at the end of the year that there's someone's gonna come collecting or knocking on your door wanting a piece of the pie. Yeah. So as an entrepreneur, and I know in my first year, I fell into that trap where, I would use the company card, spending without thinking that, whatever I'm getting is not being taxed at source. So, I'll spend it at the end of the year. I'll just, think about it at the end of the year. But at the end of the year, what happens is that you get a tax refund that you have to give, and it could be a very, very painful amount that you have to pay back. So don't think, and number 2 actually is don't think everything could be written off. So you might be at the nightclub with your friends, you might be at a restaurant on a date, or you might just, pick up the tab and pay it off, and you'll say, what, it's okay, I'll just, put it on the tax deductions and I'll put it as a company expense. But to your surprise, at the end of the year, when you're talking to your accountant, if you have a good one, he'll tell you that not everything could be written off. Have you ever lived something like this before?
Yeah, but it's not a tax refund you're getting from the government.
No, a tax refund that you have to give to the government.
You have to pay.
The refund is where you're giving back the money, basically.
I think as an entrepreneur, even if finance it's not your field, make sure you understand the difference between gross and net. There's a huge difference. Spending your gross money as if it's net money, it's a big mistake. And I've seen personally many clients of mine, many friends of mine starting into entrepreneurship, spending every single dollar that they make. And when it's time to do their financial statements or their income tax, the bill comes, interest accumulates since day one of the government basically wants their part. So don't forget, put aside money from the get-go. And there's many ways to do that. Your accountant can help you set up the best efficient way for you to take care of that. Point number 5, financial disorganization. It's already bad enough to be disorganized as a person. Being disorganized as a business owner, I think it's double the trouble. I mean, missing deadlines, not returning calls, forgetting to do follow-ups. I think this is the most toxic things that you can do as a business owner and can cost you so much, not only in time, but in future money, future clients.
Exactly. When you don't do your follow-up or you don't return your email, that's a potential client that is going to go to your competition.
Yeah.
Because in today's world where everything is very quick, people want service now. And if you promise a service now, make sure that you deliver the service now. And I'd go even further to what you said on financial disorganization when, making sure that your accounts are in place and in order. You don't want to have many accounts all over the place where you don't know where you're paying bank fees or you're paying interest on a card. Make sure that you're in a lot of control of your finances, because nobody will come knocking at your door and telling you that you have to take care of your things. You have to know that on your own. Bank fees pile up, bad credit bureau piles up. You don't want none of that. So make sure that you are on top of your things and efficiently.
Even more so, disorganization for a business, it's toxic. And making sure to have strategic elements in the business to help you, it's the easiest thing to do. Think about it for a second. Everything has already been invented in a way. We have CRMs for any kind of business that can help you manage clients, manage follow-ups, manage documents, manage everything. Those CRMs are there and most of them are very affordable. I mean, for a monthly fee, you can have everything set up as a business owner and just logging into one platform and having everything you need. So how hard is it really? Ask yourself that question. For those who don't know, a CRM is a customer relationship management, which basically helps you manage everything about the business. It allows you to create profiles and put all the information on every single account that you have to allow you to follow up, to have everything that is necessary to run a business into one single platform.
Exactly. I'm more of a fan of an Excel spreadsheet where you have a page for your finances, a page for your personal stuff, everything that's personal, whether when is rent due, when is your licensing renewal, and I have another spreadsheet that's for client follow-ups, phone numbers, my contacts, my circle of influence, what I told them, my impression of them, what do they think of me. I write that. As funny as it may sound, I actually think of what kind of attitude that person feels towards me to know how to approach them so that they can keep doing business with me. But that's just a little tangent that I'm taking from there. But Excel is affordable if you don't want to go buying Salesforce or you don't want to buy Creases we use in Montreal. So these are systems that you can put into place that could really help your business. So there you have it, folks. You now know the 5 things that you should be avoiding as financial mistakes as an entrepreneur. Remember one thing, guys, the difference between a successful entrepreneur and a failed entrepreneur, most of the time it comes from how they manage their money. Okay? If you know how to manage well, you're setting up yourself for success in the long run, and creating that habit will only benefit you in the long term.
Thank you guys for watching. If you have anything to add, let us know down below. We'd love to hear what you guys want to see next. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget, guys, hit that bell, please, if you want to be notified of what the next videos are going to be.
See you on the next one.
Yes, sir.